Let's talk about female psychopaths. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones, and I want to have a quick conversation about female psychopaths because you asked for it. And instead of going into all of the commonalities or common traits of psychopaths, I'll tell you a little something about the psychopaths that I personally have experienced in working with in my career, and some of the behaviors that really stand out. I feel like some of the general stuff you can kind of Google on your own, but I'll give you some of the behind the scenes, so to speak, of what I've seen based upon my work in the forensic field for several years now. So one of the things that stands out in terms of female psychopaths is the types of crimes that they commit. You know, you guys seem to really like the posts that I put on, put out about financial crimes, about fraud and stuff like that. And so I feel like female psychopaths go into this category. But another unique crime that is that I found to be true of female psychopaths is women who falsely accuse men of rape. And I don't know, I haven't really seen too many people talk about it, so I thought I would spend some time talking about it. So they falsely accuse men of raping them and or their children, and they will go to the full extent of the law, use the full extent of the law to try to ruin someone's life. And it's usually after they feel that this person has wronged them in some way or has taken away some sort of power and control or quality of life from them. So this is usually someone that they may have been in a relationship with at a certain point, and then that person has, for example, moved on to someone else or has divorced them and left them and gone away. So it's not uncommon for a rape allegation, and this is usually something that they will plan out and usually retaliate because while they may have had, quote unquote, good times with that person, they are now enraged and they definitely want to retaliate, and they don't want anyone to have access to this person anymore, and they want their quality of life to be significantly diminished, and so much so that they want to take that person out. So that's one thing that I've noticed about female psychopaths. Culturally speaking, in my experience, with women that I've worked with who have done this, significantly more white women do this than any other race that I've worked with. And again, that's just my experience in terms of, hands-on clinical work that I've worked with women who have done this in the field that I work in. Going on to theft and other things like that. So one of the things that I've noticed, again, my hair is not cooperating today. One of the things that I've also noticed about female psychopaths is, again, a lot of them engage in petty theft. And petty theft would be something like walking around the grocery store and just taking things off the shelf. And these things aren't necessarily worth a lot of money, but it's just the thrill of getting away with stealing something. And it's not that they're stealing out of necessity. They're not stealing because they lack money. They are stealing for the thrill of just getting away with something. And once again, culturally speaking, in my experience, white women are more likely to engage in this. Specifically, it's usually middle to upper class white women, so women who have more than enough financial means, and usually they are around the, maybe teenage years to about 30 plus years old that typically do this, and they just get that high off of just pocketing things, and they may even kind of create a keepsake to memorialize all of the things that they are proud of themselves for getting away with, for shoplifting. And so that's one thing. Number three, one of the things that I've noticed about female psychopaths, that separate them from men can tend to be very emotional and react just like that, right? They want to typically retaliate right away, and they act off of emotion. So if they become extremely enraged or extremely angry or pissed, they typically want to act on that right away. With women, women can sort of they're very good at masking, and I actually think female psychopaths are more dangerous than men for this very reason. Women can tend to mask and sort of harbor things for a long time, and so they sort of plot and plan, and that and planning can take months and sometimes even years before they execute. But they think about every detail. And they go through extensive planning in a lot of cases. Not all the time, but in a lot of cases, women are much more likely to have more of an elaborate plan, or at least hold off on executing things. And you could be in a relationship with a woman for much longer and think that things are okay, and then bam, come out of nowhere before she strikes. And good examples of that would be like women who are called Black widows, so women who sort of marry for love and then choose to execute their partner and drain all of their finances. So that would be one type of crime that female psychopaths commit. The fourth thing is female psychopaths are very likely, or excuse me, or what I've noticed about working with female psychopaths is a lot of times what they will do is they will either compete with each other, or they will couple up. So what I mean by competing is that, you know, I used to have to do group therapy with women who had committed various crimes, and it's interesting. Women love to sort of talk about some of the things that they've done, or that they've gotten away with, or ways in which they've gotten revenge. Other women will take notes and then they'll raise you by 500 points. So essentially they will say, okay, well, you did this, now I did that, or I'm going to show you, So women can become very competitive and take notes from each other. Women can also, they also feed off of whoever they may be coupled up with. So this could be a friend, and this could be a lover or mother that I've seen this happen, where women can be very heavily influenced and sort of commit crimes together with a person of significance in their lives, or a person that they're connected to, or a person that they're having relations with. Whereas men, they're more likely to do things alone in most cases. Every now and then you may have you may have some deviations from that, such as in school shootings and things of that nature. But women are much more likely to couple up and maybe even group up sometimes. So they may even group up. It's not uncommon for there to be a group of girls in school or college and things like that that engage in some extreme hazing and bullying behavior. Lastly, one of the things that I'll talk about is animal abuse. So in my experience, more female psychopaths engage in animal abuse and killing of, or mutilating of animals than men do. And specifically, it could be something such as driving down the road, throwing their animal out of the car, and things like that. I've seen that. So full disclaimer there, I should have put that there. But yeah, women often do that with animals. And the last thing I will mention about the couple up, women will often couple up with their partners to commit crimes against their own children in a lot of cases. Hope that helps.